morning, guys. It is Vlogmas day 7. I am coming to you after doing a private lesson with 2 of my favorite clients. They're so sweet. I recently moved them up because they're too fast for my groups anymore, but I love seeing them and getting to do private lessons with them. But yeah, I brought my crochet stuff and I kind of want to just like go to a coffee shop and crochet. So I'd probably do that. There's Voyagers like right there, so I got back from the coffee shop. I ate lunch and let me show you my progress on the jacket. So this is the back piece. It's pretty much shoulder width. I'm gonna add a little bit more on the bottom, but that's going to be like the trim and that's gonna be in yellow. So yeah, I finished the back piece and I'm glad I didn't cut this yarn yet, because I think what I'm going to do for the sleeve is I want this detail. I want the detail of the swirls to be on top like this. And also my arms are kind of chunky, so I am going to add a few more rows of stitching to the bottom so that it can be more like an oversized, like flowy sleeve. So it worked out for me. But yeah, so I'm just gonna add some more stitches down here. But I don't know, I'm like, should I redo it? My perfectionist self wants me to add like rows in between here where the bell is, like add them here rather than just to the bottom. And I'm like, should I do that? Because that would make it so much more even. And should I just start on a second one and then come back and fix this one? Yeah, so that's what I'm debating right now. I think I might redo it because I cannot stand the idea that it's going to be uneven in any way. So I might go back to here and redo the sleeve. It sucks when you go to the gym and you got chunky arms, but I think it'll look very cute. You know what I do want to find though? There's like the crafting theaters where they keep the lights on so that you can like craft. I don't know where you can find something like that, but that sounds really, really fun. Just finished watching Leiwei's movie concert and it was so magical. Oh my god, I started like tearing up. But yeah, it was so good, especially with like the LA Phil. That was amazing, and I'm just so proud of her because like she's so talented and she's also 25. I was watching the credits too, and in the credits there was Street by Street, and I think they cut that one out, but like the first part felt so short and I just felt like they did cut some stuff out, but I wanted to hear Street by Street so bad. This is the moment that everyone is waiting for. My 3x3 of my favorite movies that I've seen in theaters this year. And here it is, my 3x3. Okay, let's start from the very top. This is in no particular order also. So top left is Alien Romulus. It is the first Alien movie that I saw. I think what I want to do next year is watch Alien 1 and 2 because this movie has really surprised me. I'm not a big horror person, but Alien Romulus was, I think, the perfect mix of like just a little bit of horror but a lot of like grotesque horror, which I'm like okay with. But yeah, oh my god though, that like humanoid creature at the very end really did like oh my god. But As a Greek mythology fan, I loved the imagery of like Remus and Romulus. Just a very stressful and interesting of a watch. The second movie I got is Monkey Man. This is the Dev Patel movie, and I was so excited. The first time I saw the trailer, I was so excited to see it because everything about this movie felt like a passion project that just like needed to be shared to the world. And the fact that Jordan Peele like made it happen is just like, oh my god. I loved everything about this movie. The story that it tells is so heartwarming, how like this community of his pushed him to become and to strive for the justice that he deserved, and in a world that like hated him basically. So yeah, really liked it. The next one is A Quiet Place Day One, which is, there's 2 horror movies on my 3x3 I could never imagine. Oh my god. But yeah, A Quiet Place Day One. I watched all the Quiet Place movies, so this definitely was on my list to watch this year, and it was just so amazing. Like, to see the world that we already was used to come from a place that we are currently in now just felt so surreal, and like the fear that we feel for them is tangible. Something that we were kind of put into to now like something that we experience with them. And like the story between the 2 of them, it is such a good representation of platonic friendships between different genders, which I feel like we don't have enough of in this world. Joseph Quinn was so adorable in this role. He's having a really good year with like Gladiator and like coming up with Fantastic Four. Speaking of Gladiator, the next movie that I got on my 3x3 is All of Us Strangers. And this movie was a good one. This movie introduced me to Paul Mescal, and oh my god, this guy can act. I watched it because of Andrew Scott. As a fan of Sherlock, I was like, oh, I love this man. Also a Fleabag. Love those 2. So I had to go watch this. And the story was just, it's so heartbreaking, yet like comforting at the same time. If you like The Notebook, try watching All of Us Strangers. Okay, the next movie that I got is The Wild Robot. It's the first animated movie on my 3x3, and it's just such a beautiful movie. Like, DreamWorks has been the studio that like kind of defies the animation genre for just really good reasons, because I hate it when people say animation is just for kids. It is not just for kids, and this movie proves it. Okay, I think if a kid watches it, they would love it. Okay, I heard kids sobbing in the theaters watching this, but this is more than just a kids movie. It is a family movie, and if you have a family, either found or biological, you are going to love this movie, because it just talks about this universal love that everyone has for the people close to them. And it just tells such a beautiful story about that. This robot that doesn't seem like they're able to find love through like reprogramming themselves. Very highly recommend if you haven't seen it yet. And then I got Deadpool and Wolverine, which is, of course, a movie that was on my bucket list. I am a lover of Marvel. I have been following Marvel. I am a Marvel completionist, and I'm not afraid to say when something is bad. Like Ant-Man Quantumania, definitely a low point in Marvel. But this movie, it's what everyone expected Marvel to show up with, and it definitely delivered. The cameos, the just Deadpool being Deadpool, and just Hugh Jackman coming back, it was everything. It was so amazing, and I can see why some people don't like it, because like you have to be like super into it, like X-Men, like Marvel, in order to actually enjoy this movie, which, given all that, it still is like an incredible movie that a lot of people really enjoyed. So props to them. It was amazing. The next movie I got is American Fiction. And this movie, I really enjoyed it as a lover of stories. obviously. I like reading books. I like watching movies, TV shows, etc. And to see how who you are and how you present yourself in this world affects the type of stories you write, what people, the audience, also expects from you based on the type of person you are, is very interesting to see. And also to like make fun of it in a way that educates people and like also just points out how ridiculous it is. It's just such a clever way to put it into a movie. And I really like the scenes of him like typing away and then the action like going around him. Just the humor and the love for fiction and just everything about it is so cleverly written and presented in this movie. So the next one I got is Wicked. Of course, as a musical theater lover, I actually have never seen Wicked. Yeah, I never seen it on Broadway, never seen it on a stage, so I was pretty much going in blind, and loved it. It was so incredible. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande was like the perfect casting for these two people. I really enjoyed it and I can't wait for part 2. Lastly, I got Inside Out 2. I loved the first Inside Out and I thought that most sequels feel like a cash grab, but this feels like a very needed story to be told because a lot of people go through this stuff when they hit puberty, and it kind of simplified it in a way that made it very entertaining to watch, but also still held on to like how it actually really feels to like go through anxiety and like finding new emotions that you have to juggle. And it was such a heartwarming movie to watch. And also as a student athlete and growing up playing a sport, bro, that anxiety, it triggered something in me. I definitely relate to Riley when she was going through all that, trying to be the best version of herself in her hockey team, and me not living up to my own potential as a swimmer. Just definitely hit hard. And also like that line of like, maybe when you grow up you feel less joy. It was just too real, man. It was so good. Should I do some honorable mentions? So here are some honorable mentions. I got, the first one is Challengers. Amazing movie, amazing soundtrack. Zendaya was so good at it, and I just love the relationship between their love for the sport and also for each other. Another one is Gladiator 2. Incredible movie. Yeah, and I also watched the first Gladiator for this Gladiator 2 movie, and I feel like you definitely should watch the first one before you get into the second one, because a lot of the events that happen in the first one carry over to the second one and like puts more meaning into like the conversations that they have because of legacy, because of what it means to be royal blood, what it means to be a gladiator, all comes from the events of the first one. So definitely, if you're thinking about going to watch Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal fight it off, definitely hit up Russell Crowe first. Okay, another honorable mention is Didi. As a Bay Area girl who grew up going to mini golf land, it was so funny, it was so heartwarming, and it just kind of like understood what it meant to grow up in an Asian household that immigrated from a different country to be here to like try to have a better life, and like us kids not understanding that at all. And then the last one that I just felt like I had to put in my honorable mentions is Dune 2. It felt like a movie that, like most people had said, like it was super hard to even fathom of making a movie out of this. And the fact that they did it and did it pretty well to the point that it's like not only memeable but like enjoyable to watch. Definitely a very, very good movie. So that was my top movies of 2024. At least the movies that I've seen in theaters. It is getting pretty late, so I'm going to end the vlog here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 8 of Vlogmas. Bye!